Hi, I'm Caroline.
And I'm Megan.
And this is The Songwriter Diaries,
a podcast by songwriters for songwriters.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to season 10 of The Songwriter Diaries. Absolutely wild. And kicking off the season, we could not have picked a better guest. It is the Kate Cosentino.
Hello.
Did I say your last name right? I always panic.
Don't worry. I feel bad that I have a last name that makes people panic. It's Cosentino. But
Cosentino.
you were so close, don't you worry.
I was so Cosentino. I literally almost said that, and then I was like, "That's wrong. That's wrong."
You know, because technically, I think Cosentino, if you were actually in Italy, would be the right way to pronounce it. But
yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
I'm just cultured.
You are more cultured than even me, so you win. You win.
We had a guest last season. Who was that, Meg? That we were. Oh, it was Sarah Gargano, and I was like, "Did I pronounce your last name right?" And she goes, "I don't know." She's like, "That works." I was like, "You don't have a preference?"
That's so funny. That's so funny. I just had coffee with her the other day, so that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, yes, you know her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay,
Crazy.
well, we need to talk about this later. I could go on a tangent about her. She is so sweet.
I know.
Aw, I love it.
Well,
That's
Kate-
awesome. Well, welcome to the pod.
Thanks
So
for having
happy
me.
to have you.
This is great.
Yay! Let's just dive right in and have you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in music and your journey and everything.
Yeah, the whole the resume,
Tell us everything.
Yes.
the lore, the Kate lore. Yeah, so I feel like I have the like classic tale of like I started music when I was a baby. But basically, growing up in Kansas City, I started taking guitar lessons like in the first grade. And I was super into Guitar Hero and Hannah Montana, and I was like, this seems like what I'm meant to do. Like, seems like the vibe. So kind of started playing music, then started like singing the next year, songwriting the next year. So by the third grade, I was like, I want a gig. I'm doing this as a career. And just kind of was a crazy, like motivated kid and started recording music and releasing it and blah, blah, blah. And that eventually took me to Nashville. And I was like, this is the spot. So I went to Belmont, studied songwriting and music business, and then graduated in the beautiful year of our Lord, 2020. And here we are, now pursuing music full time.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh
yes.
my gosh, the year of our Lord.
Yes. The year of reckoning. I don't know. It was a year.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the year.
Lessons were learned. Well,
Yes.
some
That
people
won't be
learned.
mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, some people learned the
Redacted.
lessons.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, was your family and your support system very supportive of you pursuing music? Were they
Yeah.
ready to raise a little pop star, or?
Fortunately, yes. I lucked out that they weren't like stage parents at all.
That's
Thank
yeah.
God. So that's wonderful. But they also were like, no, you should pursue music, which I appreciated because I was kind of a nerd. And yeah, how big on that? I was a little smarty pants, and I liked a lot of things. And so I was like, oh, you know, I could be a good lawyer or insert career that makes definite amount of money here. But music just always spoke to me, and fortunately my parents like just believed in that gift a lot, and yeah, they're still my biggest supporters. I'll like cry once a month and be like, should I be an accountant? And they're like, no. Literally just go watch a movie, you'll be okay.
Yeah. That is
Love that.
so cute. Oh my gosh. And when you moved from Kansas City, do you still play a lot of shows there when you go back? And
I do. Yeah, I love performing in Kansas City because no one shows up for you like the hometown people, you know?
So true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, true.
Yep.
Yes. We
I
count
know.
on
I
them.
play a hometown show maybe like once every 3 years. I'll play, and it's my parents and all of their friends that I've never seen in real life. They're like, we've heard so much about you, and it's like, great.
I
Give me
love
the ticket
that.
money.
It's either that or they're like, you've grown so much.
Yeah.
over this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I met you when you were this tall.
I love that.
Literally. So what does your typical songwriting process look like?
So great. I'm like, is there a typical? It's always kind of, yeah, you guys get it. It's always kind of different, but since guitar was my first instrument and I feel like I just lean into the guitar, I usually start there with some sort of vibe establishment, if you will. Chords or a little riff, and I go from there. Or if something like major happens in my life, or that really just like, I'm like, that needs to be a song, then it's like a singing around my house until I can get to the guitar or the Logic session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you write in Logic?
I've started two more. That's
sick.
It's a learning process. Yeah. I enjoy it because I can like build out all the ideas as they're happening, even if they're like not exactly what I want. I can be like, remember, do a little background vocal that's like here and save that, which is nice. But sometimes I think it's nice to just get the full like meat of the song out and then mess with that stuff. So it just kind of depends. I don't know. Depends on the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you produce any of your own stuff, or do you have a producer that you work with a lot?
I half and half. I've finally gotten to the point where I feel like I understand. I understand the terminology. I speak the lingo, so I can be like, yeah, put a riser here, and if you can cut the highs on the like, you know, I can say stuff now. So I would call myself a co-producer, but for most of the stuff I'm releasing, like I'll make a pretty close demo and then just work with some of my amazing friends that are like, they're so much faster. And they're just like, they have a gift that I don't have, that I'm like, please do this for me.
You like don't realize you have a good producer until you work with one that isn't necessarily a bad producer, but is a slower, less experienced producer. Yeah. And you're just sitting there like, oh my God, my other producer would be so much faster at this.
It is worth its weight in gold. Like, it doesn't waste your time, your money, and it like keeps the joy in it. Because I don't know if you guys are this way, but a song will die for me really quick if I spend too much time being like, I can't get this sound. Yeah. You know.
And it it keeps the energy up. Because I'm like, okay, if I just like dropped some vocals and we're going through them and it takes you like 30 minutes to figure out how to organize your whatever that's called. The tracks. The little things.
The session, the tracks, the doodads.
I'm like, oh my God. Okay, well now I'm out of it. Like now I don't even remember what I sound like. I don't know.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Do you have any advice for people who are looking to start producing their own stuff or recording their own demos or anything like that?
Ooh. Man, I would say my advice to people looking to start recording their own demos, I'm like, how did we navigate the wild in the first place? Start simple and have fun. I mean, I feel like when we were in high school and middle school, it was just GarageBand. Like everyone was like Imogen Heap, like just, you know, that's all the only thing. All we had on a little, you know, iPod thing. Yeah. But sometimes I think that's like a good way to learn just like basics of how to record and make a song sound a certain way. And then stuff that's helped me is literally asking people who are better at it to help fix it, or like recording something like a song that I already know and then comparing it to the original track. That has like worked wonders. I will be like, okay, the bass doesn't like, I'll just focus on one little element and start messing with it. I think that's helpful. And then, you know, especially if you're like me, like I just can't read it. I'm not interested in the science. I wish I was. Like, compression, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it does what it does.
It does what it does. It sounds what it sounds like. We're moving on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you co-write at all? Or and if you do you prefer writing by yourself or do you prefer co-writing?
Ooh, I do both. I co-write a lot, but a lot of my artist project ends up being my own stuff. I don't know why. I just, you know, it's very purely my voice, and so I think I tend towards those songs. But I've had a few. you get it. You get it. I've had a few co-writes though that have made it into my artist project, like Emergency Contact, my friend Troy, who he's HT Hayes on the YouTubes. If you ever watch HT Hayes Reacts, has a really great YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh, shout out HT Hayes.
Shout out, my guy. But he was someone who, we had a co-write scheduled. I'd written the first verse and I was like, I need your wit and your musicality to help me finish this thing. Like, I just know you're made for this song. So I feel like now that I've just been co-writing for so many years, I'm like, when I start writing something on my own, I can be like, this person is the person that can help me finish it. And I've been less afraid to call on them instead of just staring at a wall being like, it'll happen one day.
One day.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it just goes to the archives, and then you'll look through your notes like years later and be like, oh, that one was okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should revisit that.
Right. On a good day, you hope it's that. Sometimes you're like, what was I? What?
Oh, I know. There are so many lines in my notes app that don't even make sense.
No.
I'm like, what state was I in when I was writing this? If I was not inebriated, there's no excuse. Like, for what's written. This is horrible.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. So do you feel more connected with the term songwriter or the term artist, and why?
Oh, that's a good one. What? Caroline, you're really scratching my brain with that. I don't know. Oh, man. I don't know if I could. I feel like maybe artist, because as someone who, I mean, like, now putting out music as an artist is like my bread and my butter and my focus.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that encapsulates all of the things into one term. And yeah, it just feels like I am making art, so I resonate with that. Although sometimes I'm like, I'm an artist, and they're like, what do you paint? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. I wish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, probably artist. I think that's me also. I like using that term because it's kind of a confidence boost. Every time I say it, I'm like, no, I am an artist.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Yes. It sounds like, it really sounds elevated comparatively to like, I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter. It's like, I'm an artist.
Right.
And it sounds mysterious, almost like, oh my gosh, what are you doing?
Yes. It requires the confidence to be like, what I make is art, and I am an artist, instead of if you're like, I'm a songwriter, all you need is I wrote a song. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Man, that was a good one. Scratch my brain.
So, let's confront the elephant in the room here.
Yes.
What was the voice like?
Come out with it. Tell us. The voice was awesome. It was truly like, I think all musicians or artists or whatever, singers feel this way of like, it's the thing that everyone's grandma's like, you should go out the voice. Or
no, literally.
Yeah. You want to be a musician? Yeah. Have you thought about those like shows? I'm sure you've never seen them. So it kind of always had a weird, like, I think when I was little, I was like, I want to be like Melanie Martinez. Like, that's so cool. And then as I grew older and did music more, I was kind of like, like, that's not the only way to make it. Like, I don't even need that, blah, blah, blah. So when I actually got through, since COVID, I think they've been doing online auditions. And so I got the email to send in a video, and I was like, that's simple. I will do that. I will never wait in the in-person line again, but I will absolutely send you a video. When it happened, it felt like, wow, okay, I've never gotten this far on any, like, I've auditioned before, never got this far. And it felt kind of like, okay, I think I've found my brand. Like, after coming off of an EP, after coming off all that, I was like, okay, the reason in my mind that I'm making it through is because I am really who I am right now. And I lucked out that being on the show, I think they really celebrated that. Like, they let me be goofy. Most of what they showed, I was like, that is pretty much 99% accurate to how I am when you talk to me, you know? And I looked how I looked, and, you know, people were awesome. I really lucked out that the whole cast was like some of my best friends now. That was unexpected and amazing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to say, like, I mean, to be fair, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention until you were on it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that was when I started paying
Same.
attention. But seeing all of your TikToks and everything with all the people on your team, I was like, this just seems so healthy and nice.
Yeah.
And something that I don't think has happened, at least that I've seen and been privy to in that kind of realm. Because it's so, it's a competition. At the end of the day, it's a competition. And that's scary and also brings out the worst in people, or can. And you guys were all just so supportive of each other. It was like literally so emotional. I was like, this is so cute. Like, you guys all just want everyone to succeed, and I loved it. And all the TikToks, the TikTok where it was the "How old are you?" and it was I was like, oh my God, he is a baby.
I know. Well, what's funny, I had a moment with Riley Tate where I was, I think, interviewing him and talking to him, and I was like, oh yeah, he's 15, like that's young, but I was literally just 15, like, and I was doing music then, like this isn't weird. He is like a valid artist. And then I was like, oh wait, I was 15 9 years ago. And it really hit me. Like I was just like, oh, that went, not 15. But it feels like yesterday. So
we both just turned 25, and that it hits harder than 24. I'm gonna warn you. It hits harder.
I'm not emotionally prepared for that, but
yeah,
I'm glad you guys made it. You survived.
We made it over the edge. Yeah. Yeah, you hit 25 and it's just all downhill.
Yeah.
Just truly slow decline.
Oh my God.
Just kidding. We haven't peaked yet, everyone. We haven't peaked yet.
No way.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for like 63. That's going to be my peak.
I like that.
I'm going to make so much more sense when I'm like in my 50s or like 60s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to chill out then. I'm going to rest. It'll be great.
Yeah, rest.
Yeah. So when you were auditioning, so you did the in-person audition, and then after you sent in the video, was it like, okay, cool, now we're going to bring you here and do the chair turn thing?
So, yeah. So the in-person audition was something I did like in college at Belmont. They had in-person auditions.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And they film you. So I think this is me speaking off of it, like what I think, but I don't know. So no one take this to heart listening. But I think they just kept me in the system, like my profile. And so last year they emailed me and were like, hey, you should audition this season. Send us, a couple of songs. And so I did that last year, didn't work out. And then this year they emailed me again. So I was like, well, I can clearly send in a video. But this time, the difference was I was like, I'm going to just be goofy because that's more of what I've been doing on stage lately. And as great as it is to audition for those things, I'm tired of taking it so seriously. I was like, let me just have fun. Like, you're like, perfect lighting. Is it? I didn't care. I sang Play That Funky Music, White Boy. And I slammed my office door open and I was like, what's up, The Voice? This is like literally just was a ham. And they liked that, I guess, which was great. And so then it's like you do a couple interviews so they get to know your story. And then I got the email that was like, we want to fly you out. And so flew out to Burbank, was there for a month for the blind auditions, which people don't get. Like we filmed that back in September. And I was out there for 3 weeks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so you were there 3 weeks just to do the blind audition, or were there other performances that happened?
Just the blind audition.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So then
it's crazy.
They turned for you.
Yes, they did turn for me.
And you were on Team Niall.
Yes, Team Niall Horan.
OMG, as a one deer, I was like,
I love it. Yes.
So then, did you go back home after the blind auditions, and then they flew you back out for like the other performances?
Yes. So it was kind of like, got the chair turns, got my hoodie, and then we kind of had the holidays, and then flew back in January. Film the rest of it.
Oh my gosh, this is a way longer process than I thought. I don't know why I was like, you're just gonna be there.
Yes.
And then
ugh.
do all of it in one month. You're gonna like do all of it and record
Yes.
the episodes.
And I was waiting for people to catch on because if you noticed, I didn't post much music. Well, why would you notice? But I was like, thank God people aren't noticing because I was still posting.
Yeah.
But like, there are limitations to what kind of music or what you can post, I'll just say.
Yep.
And so from September until March, when I finally announced that I was on The Voice, my social media was real weird.
Yeah. They're like, Kate's going through something.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's wild. The audition process sounds very similar. Back in like my sophomore year of college, I auditioned for American Idol, and it was very like similar. Like you wait in the long line, and then you get up there. But it was so, I don't know, not to bash on American Idol. Maybe it's different now, but you would wait in this long line, and then you would sing your little song or play and sing your little song, and then they would be like, okay, cool, bye. Or they'd say, okay, no, you go up to this area where you'll get interviewed and then they'll film you, whatever. And that was just so weird because I was like, what? Can you just not do it all at one time? Like, it's just the rapid pace of it. And also like, you're with your friends and they're like, okay, you get to go and then you don't. And I'm like, that hurts my heart to think about that. So
yikes.
yeah. But it's wild. And getting the whole story, I think American Idol was so focused on like, what's the hardest thing that you've been through in your life and how have you grown from it?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, then you just have to hype up a story of like, I don't know, I was a privileged white girl from the Midwest. Like, I don't have anything, you know? And then you're just like, well, I had to have surgery last year. I didn't think I'd ever be able to sing again. It's like, oh God, okay.
Yeah. Like, the whole, I feel like
up.
even auditioning for the shows, being on them, watching them, you realize like they're casting characters on a reality TV show. It is no better than The Bachelor, than Drag Race. Like, it's all a character, which is totally fine, but they like to keep a facade that it's not. And it's like,
oh yeah, it's like pure talent, but it's also like,
yes,
you have talent. Don't get me wrong.
To be engaging. You have to have a story.
But yes, for sure, which I get. It's TV, for sure.
I'm like, you have to get people to want to watch. Like,
yeah. And
that's
like,
why
as
you
an
get
artist,
people.
you have to have a story to share and tell, and have a brand, and exactly.
Yeah, and that's why you get people from all different backgrounds, all different personalities. It's like people need someone to relate to on the show, you know. So
yeah.
It makes sense. But yeah, it's just that audition process is wild. It's wild.
Not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. Nope.
No.
Yeah, wow.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Shit.
You're like, damn.
I've never done it, and I don't think I will.
You don't need to. Hey, it was
you
great.
don't need to.
You don't need to. That's why I did like it was online for The Voice.
That's way better.
That is
way better.
That's way more.
That's way
tempting,
better
for sure.
Yes, and like, I think what drew me to that show always is just compared to some of the other singing shows, even though they play into stories, they never really paint anyone in a light that makes fun of them. And I feel like that kind of kindness radiated throughout the staff and the whole process. Like, they were always very respectful and like not trying to take advantage of people. And so I was like, that show, if I'm gonna do a show, it's gonna be that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's cool like that. So many friendships form. Like, we've had Thunderstorm Artiste. I don't know if you know him. He was on The Voice like a couple seasons ago, but
awesome.
He was on our podcast like last season, and he was talking about like the friendships that he made, and so I feel like that's so cool that it's you just become a little family. That's nice.
Yes. It's lucky.
It's supportive. Well, and I haven't watched I'm just bashing on American Idol now. I haven't watched it in forever, but it's like when they would bring people in that like, well, they fake it so that it's like, oh, people are just waiting in line, and then they get right in front of the judges. Like, no, they don't. That's not the way it works. But they have people that are bad, that they literally put in, that think they're good. They auditioned because they want to make it as a singer. They're horrible. And then they put them in front of these judges. Like, that's so messed up. for our entertainment, but I watched it. I loved it. So, like, I can't really say anything. But
Right.
it's so sad.
It
Like,
is.
oh,
It's
what if
the
they did that
Michael
to
Scott
me?
cringe factor. Like, you
Yeah.
can't look away from the train wreck. It's like,
yeah,
No
exactly.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and then Katy Perry got really weird or something with like one of the guys who auditioned. Do you remember when she like kissed this guy who auditioned? And yeah,
What?
it was weird. Yeah,
Oh,
this
I
guy
knew-
was auditioning, and she's like, he's so hot, like I want to kiss him and like kiss this guy, but it was weird. Yeah.
Wild.
Anyway, I am bashing on American Idol at this point. I'm really blowing all my chances to be on that show.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Okay, so this is like my favorite question, I think. It's so fun. But if you could choose 3 other musicians or bands to share a bill with, who would you choose?
Ooh.
Like anyone.
Man, that's...
Dead or alive?
Oh, okay. That's a hard question because I feel like my music business brain just will not shut up. And I'm like, there's people I love more than anything that me playing before them, with them makes absolutely no sense. Like right now, my favorite band is 100 Gex. I love 100 Gex.
Oh my god.
They make trash garbage like hyperpop, and I can't get enough of it. I would never, like, it doesn't make sense, but would it be fun? Yes. I would say my real answer would probably be, oh my god, Prince. I would die. Simply, I would die. That would just be my, like, the one, like, someone who's passed that I would just, like, it would just be the coolest would be Prince.
Oh, so good.
Because why not? I want to play guitar with him.
Yes.
He always had women guitarists, and I'm like, let me be one.
Yeah.
Then, right now, Phoebe Bridgers, of course. Like, she done some. I mean, I've told my fiance she can marry me. Like, I love that woman.
Mommy? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, mommy. Sorry, mommy. Mommy, literal mommy. And she just looks like she has a freaking blast with boy genius. Just like, just
Oh
put,
my
me,
god, yeah.
put me in. Let me be baby genius. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the last one would be Remy Wolf. Is like my favorite
Oh.
thing.
I
Favorite.
love her.
She's so good and so fun. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I would literally sell my left like toe for that. I don't know. Be great.
Do you listen to Madison Cunningham?
Yes, I love her. Yeah, yeah,
I'm so obsessed with her.
she's great. She's
And her and
just-
Remy Wolf just did like a remix of one of her songs. And it's so good.
Oh, I need to listen to that.
We gotta wrap this up. I gotta go find that. Like now, you just said the. I gotta
It's really
go.
good.
Oh my
I
god.
think it's Hospital from her latest album. They did like a remake of that song together, and it's fucking good.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's something I never would have thought of the two of them together, but their voices together would be so fire. Oh my god. Okay.
So
Anyway,
Mhm.
that's my homework. I'm gonna go do that.
Oh my gosh. I want to see
Love
Remy live so bad. I have not seen her live.
Oh, this is literally the only bad thing about The Voice being on it was I had tickets to see her in Nashville. And I was doing the blind audition, so I couldn't go. And I was so sad. So sad. You wouldn't believe it.
You know, sometimes choices
Sometimes you
are
gotta.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just ask, you're like, so can you actually fly me back just for one night to Nashville?
I thought about it. I had a day off too.
Yep.
I was like, is it worth, $600
Yeah.
a day to fly out and back? Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. You gave up so much.
Truly,
that.
I sacrificed to be on
You
The
really
Voice,
did.
you guys.
You
Mhm.
really did.
It was hard work.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Okay, so I'm very curious about your answer to this question because I just think you absolutely slay the social media game.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
And
Thanks.
and I'm curious how you think that social media has impacted the music industry overall as well as your musical career.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
We're
It's a
asking
big
you
one.
big questions, Kate.
Yeah. It's, in some ways, I really love it because I find a lot of the music I like, even before social media, but social media has just made it more apparent. You like the music for the music, like 60% and 40% for the person. Like, someone that comes to mind is Doja Cat, who I just like. I love her music. I would listen to her music without knowing who she is 100%. But having that added hilarious personality factor is the thing that makes me like a diehard fan. You know? Like, even someone who I would compare that we were just talking about is Remy Wolf. Like, her social media is good and funny, but she's a little less consistent with it. And I feel like, you know, I can see how I would be even more drawn in with that. So it's just a weird landscape where it's like now marketing is done in such a personal way, which is cool because you get to know an artist and feel really, truly connected to someone whose music speaks to you like that. But it can also be a problem as a musician because one, is a lot of freaking work. I like every TikTok I make is like an hour and a half of editing at least, you know, and it's like, that's great. But all day, like I have, you know, actually working to make money and recording music. Like it's just another thing, even though it's fun. And it also, I think, can create unhealthy boundaries of like, you know, feeling like you have to give everyone everything. So that's just the piece that I don't love. But I do love that, like, people feel like they know me before they see me live. And I like making my goofy videos are honestly, like, it really fills me up. And it makes me enjoy, you know, like, I feel connected to people who maybe I haven't talked to in a while or who are just finding me. So it's just a weird, like, bittersweet thing that is a part of being a musician now.
It's a whole other job. Like,
it is a whole other job.
Yeah. It's so much work. And like the consistency, I think, is a big thing. Of like what a lot of people struggle with, including myself. I'm in the a lot of people category of just staying consistent with what you're posting. It's like, oh, I'll post like once every couple weeks. And I'm like, that's good enough, right? And it's like, no, you need to be posting so often to like stay on people's radars and, you know, the algorithm, blah, blah, blah. It's like insane.
Especially when you're building it. That's the hard thing. And oftentimes we compare ourselves to people who, like, you know, have you forget have money and a label backing them. Or, you know, they are already famous. And so they have earned the ability to do less, which is wonderful. And I wish it upon us all. But, you know, you'll be like, they only posted twice a week and they got all this traction. And I'm like, well, it's because that's Bono, my friend. But, you know, like, what? I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I'm like, I love that you think so highly of yourself. Keep that energy, keep that confidence, but put in more work.
Exactly.
Like, keep going. So is music your I don't even know. Is music your full-time gig just in different avenues, or is there something else that you're doing on the side?
Just in different avenues. Literally, you were talking to me as I just stepped back from. I was a social media consultant for musicians.
Gosh. Okay, so I need to.
You're so good at it.
Yeah, I'm like, so I need to talk to you, Kate.
Anytime. But yeah, that's what I was doing for a little bit, and I really loved it. Like running Facebook ads for tours, like, you know. And also it's just nice because it's a consistent paycheck. But yeah, now I just stepped away and am, you know, trying to do it on live shows and songwriting and, you know, the game of like, they're like, what do you do to actually make your money from music? And you're like, how much time do you have? I have a long list that I have to turn into the IRA that says I made money from here and here and here. You just send them bullet points. You're like, literally, you just hand out flyers. Like, here, this is how I make money. And were you working through a company or were you all just like self-starting, self-employing? Kind of self-started for a while. Like basically when I graduated in 2020, you know, the job market was not there. And I kept applying for music industry jobs until they were just like, well, you could do social media for us. You're young. You clearly know social media for us, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. So then people started asking me like, what are your rates for social media management? And so I was like, let me Google what rates are for social media management. And
Yeah.
then I just started doing it, learned ads, got better. And then eventually I wound up with a management company and kind of was just their in-house person.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's such great advice to have, like, forever, too. You know? Great
Literally
learning.
so useful. I still feel like I
yes.
know nothing every day because it's always changing, but
Oh, yeah.
it is helpful.
There's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that. Yeah. Oh my God. I've never had a bigger panic attack than setting up an ad campaign for someone and Facebook changed like the way their ads work that morning. And I'm like, so I swear I know how to do this. I'm just going to have to learn where they move this button and that button. And so stressful.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
No.
Shout out Meta. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh my
Meta
gosh. What is happening with
bitches.
that? Oh, I could go off. Bitches at Meta.
Oh my
Oh my gosh. We're just talking shit all over the place today.
We are.
American
Truly.
Idol, Meta. Come
Yep.
on.
We're
Controversial.
coming for you.
Yes. Yeah, we're starting
So-
controversy.
So, what is a piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Great question. Ooh, man.
I know.
I know that's like, I'm like, what would I tell that baby? I feel like I would just remind my younger self to lean into the people. Like as a musician, the times I always have felt the most fulfilled is when, you know, someone is like, oh, your song meant something to me, blah, blah, blah. Or just like the personal connection that music can bring. And that every time I've, you know, just focused on the fact that giving a performance or writing a song is powerful and might just impact one person, but like it can impact them a lot, that is the thing that is worth, you know, focusing on and letting fill your cup. And that the money thing is, you know, easy to worry about, but you know, you can't, the money will come, and if you have to work another job while still doing your music thing, that doesn't mean you're not a musician. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Might
like,
feel
I
like
needed
it,
to
but
hear
come
that.
on. Yes.
love
Literally. And sometimes it's nice, okay? I really liked doing social media consulting because during the day I wasn't wiped out. Like I've done full-time songwriting for like Songfinch, things like that. And I found I didn't want to write for myself after it. And I was like, oh, wow, do I hate doing music? Like, it's my daily job. Do I hate it? And I was like, no, I actually just like to make my art and write for certain things. And I don't care if my money comes from a coffee shop or something. Like, I actually like being in a different brain mode, but it's kind of I don't know. It's hard to discover that about yourself, you know? It's like
It
painful.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also just this added pressure, I think, societally of like, if you're not doing what you love 24/7, then you're failing. Like
Right.
you're not succeeding. And how can you be happy if you're not doing that? And it's like, well, actually, I am. And, you know, just finding that balance of, I mean, I value having a steady job so much. And I like my job, but it's not
Me too.
making music. So it's like, and that's okay.
Yeah. And it's nice to put food on the table.
Yes, it
And,
is.
like not be in a constant state of financial crises.
It literally sounded like we were in the 60s. And, you know, we're putting food on the table.
I'm putting food on the table.
Bring the bread home from the family. Mhm.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. That's great.
So we have come to our last question
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
of the interview. And that is, why do you write songs?
Oh my God, you know, because it's such a high-paying career that's easy and simple. Duh.
It puts bread on the table, baby.
Yeah, brings home the bacon for the hubby. No, I write songs just to make people feel seen, and to validate my human experience. I feel like the intimate people who write really intimately about their life have a way of creating like a connection that is the reason we're here on this earth. Like, I just feel so strongly when I write a song about body image and someone feels like, oh my God, that is exactly how that feels to me inside. I would never say that to another human, even when we talk about it, there's the barrier of like, you know, being in a social situation, but the song kind of transcends that. I write for that feeling.
Mm.
Oh,
Love that.
Beautiful. I love that.
Thanks.
Well said.
I was literally
well
like,
said.
say something poetic. The songwriter in me was like, say something meaningful, please.
You got it. You got it. Okay, so now
Yes.
we'll play your song, Prettiest Girl in the Room. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about what it's about?
Yes. The story of Prettiest Girl in the Room. It's kind of my story of growing up I always wanted to be the funny kid. Just because
Same.
because the funny kid's the best.
So
you get
true.
it. Yep. You watch School of Rock once and you're like, that's gonna
Oh
be
my gosh.
Yep.
I am Jack
What a
Black.
film.
I want
Yes!
to be Jack Black.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that exactly. But I always felt growing up, I don't know, like uncomfortable in my body, and so I would dress weird and I would be funny because I just didn't want people to look at my physicality. I was like, let's just, if my outfit's loud and I'm loud, then the other stuff is going to be ignored because I didn't feel like I was pretty. I didn't feel like I was conventionally attractive. And so this song is kind of my experience as that, talking to someone who is the conventionally attractive girl and realizing like she has her own stuff that's not fun at all. Like I had close friends who I saw in that light who it's like all people think is that they're a pretty face. They don't see them as smart. They don't ask them about, their endeavors or anything else. And so kind of just it's a meeting of the ladies, and we should all be kind to each other, and women should support women, and blah blah blah.
Love that.
That's
we
it.
love women supporting women here.
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
All right. So this is Prettiest Girl in the Room.
Heads turned towards girls with more time to spend at the gym. But I was born short, so call me a poor sport, but I envy every one of them. I've been the grade maker, I've been the game changer, but I've never been the prettiest girl in the room. I wonder what it feels like to catch everyone's eyes. I hate that I wanted to, but maybe just sometimes I'd like to feel like the prettiest girl in the room. The room, the room in the room. The free drinks make her think her looks are all anyone values. Scared no one will stay the day beauty fades. That's the pretty girl blues. She's been the heartbreaker, but everyone makes her out like she's only ever been the prettiest girl in the room. I wonder what it feels like to catch everyone's eyes. I hate that I wanted to, but maybe just sometimes I'd like to feel like the prettiest girl in the room. The prettiest girl in the room. In the prettiest girl in the room. Tell me what it feels like. I wanna see it through your eyes. I never thought